Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of Arslan Senki TV, Fuujin Ranbu, I think is how it's pronounced, and I have to admit, I really was not that thrilled with the first episode of this second season of Arslan Senki when it aired last week. I really wasn't feeling a lot of the inter-battle CG and all the hundreds of horses and soldiers on horseback and everything, and the sort of dynamic flying through all of the armies and everything like that. That really kind of put me off, and I was also kind of disappointed because I hadn't felt any sort of exuberance. I hadn't felt any of those aspects from the first season, welcoming the show back that really drew me in. The characters really achieving something, and I mean the whole plot of Arslan and crew basically doubling back to Peshawar and catching the Turanians, basically trying to loot the place or whatever, or claim it for their own, and sending sort of the lieutenant of the Turanian forces, tucked tail between his legs back to his leader and everything, which subsequently is where we pick up in episode 2, where they're explaining, basically the Parsians, they don't seem to be, they kind of look like country bumpkins to this guy, this lieutenant. And you have the leader in episode 2 basically being like, okay, well, we're going to go plunder the place. We're going to put the Parsians in their place, respectively. And the only sort of standout factor from the first episode welcoming the show back for season 2 was Andragoras breaking free of his chains, taking Giscard captive. Again, a sort of very strong and heavy plot point that we follow along in this second episode that just aired. That's why I say this. As of the time of this recording, it just blew my mind, the fact that he could escape so easily. Was he just sort of, on a Super Saiyan like power up, but it was just taken forever? I don't know. As well as Give, actually. Give in the first episode, following Silver Mask, Hedimus, or Hilmus, as the subtitles for season 2 seem to be spelling it. I'm still going to call him Hedimus or Silver Mask, but he's going after this sword now, and Give practically has his hands on it before we find out the religious regiment, they're waiting in the wings and they make off with it instead. And Narcissus finds this very intriguing. Of course, Narcissus is just, again, the chief tactician in episode 2, which was leaps and bounds, like that much more exciting, that much more drawing me in and compelling from the first episode of season 2. I was really disappointed. I didn't think I wanted to do any videos on the show at all, because I just didn't feel the passion by the end of the first episode. And the second episode, seeing Arslan being motivated into action by the ruthlessness, the lethality of the Turanian leader, killing innocents, beheading one, stabbing others with swords, all this stuff. And it was kind of a pleasant surprise to see Arslan being so motivated and actually putting in a call to action. I'm going to end you, you SOB. You come to my turf, you're going to kill innocents. I'm not even going to recognize you as any sort of monarch, as any sort of leader. You're beneath me. You're beneath everything I understand. And then subsequently going to war with the Turanians. And again, Narcissus being the chief tactician, they manipulated some of the information. So you had Turanian battle off to the side. They thought they were going to be fighting, people moving in or whatever it was, or moving out. Subsequently, I don't recall exactly. But the point being, they butted heads with their own people and were completely conned by Narcissus's, just absolute magnificence as a tactician. And in this episode, I mean, seeing them going up against the Turanians, Daryun holding his own as usual, the concern he has for Arslan is still represented, and his being very proud of Arslan, even going to bat for him by the end of the episode. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself with that statement. Seeing everyone in action, seeing Arslan very much going up against the Turanian leader, sword fighting him on horseback, and just owning it. Here's this kid, this prince, and he's like, I'm gonna take your head off. I was applauding. I was like, hell yes. And, Geeve coming in at the last second, he finally returns to the posse with that arrow, saving Arslan's life, and sending the Turanians packing, which, like, geez, the lieutenant finds this out. Not only did we retreat, Grand Master, Grand Monarch, but now you want to have a parley with the Parsians or whatever, and so he kills his king and is now taking the throne. And I guess he's going to want to throw down. He's got a bone to pick with the Parsians now and everything like that. But I loved seeing, once again, Arslan's benevolence in the face of winning the day. All the soldiers, all the Parsian soldiers cheer. He gives accolades to the one guy who put it into motion to trick some of the Turanians to, turn on their own and everything like that. And this is where the whole episode, like I loved the whole episode. This is where the whole episode turns on a shift and blew my mind again, but almost in a negative light. Not like I didn't like the show. I didn't like what happened. Andragoras finally has caught up with his people. He comes in, he gets all dressed up. And then this SOB has the cojones to be like, there is only one man fit to lead our armies, and that is the king. Arslan! No, let's not hug the crown prince. Let's not hug my son, who I love so dearly. Let's cast him off. Let's punish him. Let's throw him into exile, telling him, don't even bother looking in my direction again until you have 50,000 soldiers and troops that we can take back our home with. Forget everything Arslan's done since season 1, all throughout season 1. All the growth, all the successes. Forget all of that. Be gone, son of mine. And I was like, fuck you. Pardon my parlance here, but that ticked me off something awful. And that singular reason, like the vibe all through this second episode that just aired, as I say, I loved it. It was rejuvenating. It was exciting. It was everything I felt the first episode was missing for me personally to welcome the show back, to be refamiliarized with the characters, even Geeve being like, who is this man sitting beside Ferengis, the lady Ferengis? I'm gone for a little while and you have to sort of, fill the void in your heart with this D-bag, just everything. Everything was back to form in this episode for me. And then, like I say, the twist at the end, it was a shock. I'm not a manga reader. I don't know the original story. I've never seen the original adaptation. So this was mind-blowing. Upsetting, aggravating what Andragoras did to his own son. And there's even a point where, like, when he first addresses Arslan, I don't know if it's just the way the Japanese voice actor pronounces Arslan's name, but it almost sounded to me like he was purposely mispronouncing it a little bit, or stumbling over it to be like, like he finds Arslan's being there, Arslan's existence despicable. So I'm not even going to honor him by saying his name right. And it was just like, well, damn, WTF just happened here. I never would have saw this coming. I never would have seen Andragoras breaking free in such a manner as he did. Leaving, I might add, Guiscard, to the troops behind everything Lusitanians, so he could make his getaway. And then, of course, Arslan's about to ask about Tahimane, his mother. Forget it. Be gone, O son of mine. Get the hell out. I don't care what you've done. You have beseeched the throne by your actions. I'm done with you. Somebody choked that mother trucker. So yeah, this was a phenomenal second episode in the 2 episodes returning Arslan Senki back to our, I would say television sets, but we're not in Japan, so our various forms of, digital media. And I loved this second episode a hella ton more than the first. If it had continued sort of along the lack of a good vibe, a positive, exciting, exuberant vibe, as the first episode of season 2 did, I don't think I would even be here right now doing a video. but episode 2 put it through the roof, flabbergasted me to no end after exciting me, getting my juices flowing, and being like, hell yes, and bringing me to that tier of just teetering over the edge, hell no, by the end. So yeah, man, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've been following my coverage going all the way back to Season 1, every episode of Season 1, and all the great conversations I had. What do you think of these events? How closely do they follow the original story, the source material? Without posting any spoilers, please, if you do answer that question, what you just thought of these episodes, especially if you're like me and you're a novice when it comes to the source material. Did this blow your ever-loving mind like it did mine? Because holy crap. So I really cannot wait to see where we go from here. Holy hell. And it's only 8 episodes as far as what I've read this entire second season. So yeah, as I say, let me know in the comments below. Love it or hate it, anything goes. Love having that conversation. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.